Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. It keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
What's up? Thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music. Now let's get into some music news. Yes, Houston is in the house. The Queen Bee and the Stallion teamed up to raise money for COVID-19 relief in Houston. Megan Thee Stallion released the remix to Savage, and it featured fellow Houston native Beyonce. Megan is signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation, so it was only a matter of time for that collab. But not only is the remix fly AF, but all the proceeds go to Bread of Life, Inc., who have worked closely with the Houston area during many hurricanes, delivering food to those who need it most. Singer-songwriter Cady Groves passed away at the age of 30. According to a social media post by her brother, both foul play and self-harm have been ruled out as Groves' cause of death. Best known for her 2012 hit, This Little Girl, the video for which starred Vanderpump Rules' Tom Schwartz and featured a cameo appearance by Blake Shelton. Groves had most recently released an EP in 2015 titled Dreams. Just weeks before Weezer is set to release their highly anticipated new album, Van Weezer, the band has a treat to hold fans over in the form of a brand new single. The group took to Twitter on Monday to announce that Hero will be arriving on May 6th. Last album, we didn't have any guitars. This one, just all guitars. 100 guitars. Frontman Rivers Cuomo said, honky-tonk musician Dwight Yoakam revealed he married his longtime fiancée, Emily Joyce, last month in a private ceremony prior to quarantine. The two wed at St. Monica Catholic Church in Santa Monica, California, with less than 10 witnesses who sat 6 feet from each other. At a time when there's so much uncertainty in the world, there are still happy moments. In the face of shutdowns and social distancing requirements, love prevailed, said a press statement. Yoakam and Joyce kept quiet about their intimate marriage ceremony out of respect to so many people affected by and on the front lines of this pandemic. The 63-year-old country star started dating Joyce in 2010 and have been engaged for several years. On Monday, May 4th, marketing company Truediton announced their new partnership with live streaming platform Twitch and the Recording Academy's charitable foundation Music Cares for a new live concert series, Sessions. Taking place every Wednesday in the month of May, each of the 2-hour live festivals will benefit Music Cares Coronavirus Relief Fund. A number of big-name stars have already announced their involvement in the series. For the first show taking place on Wednesday, Cam, Skip Marley, Steve Earle, Brandy Clark, and DJ Twin Shadow are set to appear. On the subsequent streams taking place May 13th, 20th, and 27th, artists like Ali X, Julie Michaels, Bryce Vine, Cave Town, Dawes, Empress of Hanson, Kate Cunning, Hanson like bop, 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 those Hanson, Kate Cunning, Max, Randy Rainbow, and Saul Cathedral will also perform. Each of the streams will be hosted by TV host and radio DJ Matt Pinfield, who will introduce each of the acts and conduct interviews with some of the artists. The first Sessions live stream will take place on the Grammys Twitch channel on May 6th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Neil Horan opened up about his recent silence on social media, explaining he's come down with an unspecified illness. Sorry, been quiet, guys. Haven't been feeling very well the last few days. I'll be back soon. X. The former One Direction tweeted. One Directioner tweeted, I guess. He would be a One Directioner. Nicki Minaj dropped a new dance video on Saturday for her long-awaited collaboration with Doja Cat on Say So remix. The remix arrives on the heels of the original version of Doja Cat's breakout hit, which has so far peaked at number 5 on the Hot 100, while Minaj most recently collaborated with Karol G on 2019's Tusa. The artist born Carter Perkins first started making music in a DIY studio he fashioned out of his basement in the suburbs of Erie. I guess that's Erie, Indiana. Inspired by the likes of Lil Wayne, Juice WRLD, Black Eyed Peas, a bunch of people who made little DIY studios. But last year he adopted the moniker Rosé based off of his childhood nickname Rosie. So this dude I've never heard of, but cool little story. After having the bubbly melody for Ooh La La in his head for a week, he penned some lyrics about a former summer crush and released the track on SoundCloud in late 2019. He said, I knew I wanted to make something catchy and upbeat, but also make it true to myself and who I am as an artist. Everything just came together naturally. From there, Atlantic A&R's Adam Schultz and Austin Rice say they discovered Rosé through the Warner Music Group-owned music data insight tool Satitone. A few notable Fortnite players featured his single Ooh La La in their YouTube videos, which helped the song become popular. They told Billboard in a joint statement, the song immediately caught our ears, and after listening to more of his music, we knew that Rosé was poised to disrupt the melodic rap space. Now that's a come-up story right there. Good luck to him. A fan named Whitney Hilton, who posted all things Taylor Swift on Twitter, is a nurse, and she traveled to work in New York City, the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak. She shares photos on Sunday of a special delivery she got in time for her 30th birthday. Talking about frontline people, nurses, and hear them sirens, frontliners out there right now. But she received a package chock full of merch that arrived with a sweet letter pinned from Swift. It said, Happy birthday! I wanted to send you some presents to let you know I am so grateful for you. I can't thank you enough for risking your life to help people and for spreading the message loudly that people need to hear about taking this seriously. Also, I saw the photo of you from my show. Thank you for coming. I would love to give you a hug next time and thank you in person. With love and admiration, Taylor. This was quite literally the best day of my life, Hilton admitted in her tweet. So in that special package, did she give her some tickets? Some tickets to a show since she said she want to hug her next time? I'll hug you, but you got to pay for the show. Now, 50 Cent has unwillingly become the muse for an Australian street artist who has reimagined the hip-hop mogul and outdoor murals as Taylor Swift, Donald Trump, Post Malone, and others. So you got to look this up. Just go to 50's page on whatever, IG, whatever it is that you're on. I believe it's IG that I saw this post on though. And it literally is all the murals that have him and it's his comments. It's hilarious. So, but the murals of 50 Cent's more face have been popping up on random buildings in Australia. The artwork is attributed to anonymous Melbourne-based graffiti artist Lush Sucks, Lushsux, who has drawn comparisons to Bansky. But one painting titled The 45th President depicts 50 Cent as President Trump. Another piece named Switty Cent Smash or Pass portrays the rapper as pop star Swift. We was just talking about her. It's unclear whether 50 Cent is in on the joke, but the rapper and the actor's reactions to the murals have been priceless. 50 took to Instagram, to share his thoughts on a recent Lush Sucks piece that depicts him as Vice President Mike Pence. He says, "This effing guy won't stop." Shaking my head. I guess I'm not wearing a mask because I'm tested frequently. There's one where he's Taylor Swift, and he writes, Swifty said I'd like to hit this MF right now in the back of his head while he doing this ish. And then, let's see. They're all funny if you look at his responses. But it seems like Lushek's 50 Cent mural rampage won't be stopping anytime soon. Last week, the artist wrote on Instagram that he might turn 50 week into 50 month and turn his war on 50 into some Iraq type quagmire. On that quagmire note, we'll take a break and return with new music news.
You really can't underestimate the importance of having the right creative work for your brand or your product. Whether it's a logo, a website, a book cover, or an ad campaign, you really need a quality design to make that big difference pop and deliver your overall engagement and success in a competitive market. That's where Design Crowd comes in. Design Crowd has over 750,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. They make crowdsourcing work for you. So if you need a logo or you're working on your creative branding, you can go to designcrowd.com and post a brief describing the design you need. And then within about 2 to 7 days, you'll receive up to over 100 different designs from designers around the world. Then you pick the best design and approve payment to the designer. So you're only paying for the design that you want. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of freelancing and out of crowdsourcing. And you don't have to be a huge company like Harvard Business School to use Design Crowd, although they have used it as well. You can start a project on Design Crowd for as little as $99. And if you go right now to designcrowd.com/health and wellness or enter the promo code health and wellness on their website, then our health and wellness listeners will receive up to $150 off of your design project. That's designcrowd.com/health and wellness or entering that promo code health and wellness.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown. Now it's time for new releases. So we got Drake, Dark Lane Tapes. I'm feeling this Drake. Of course, there are more songs than others that I am feeling. So, you know what? I honestly wasn't really feeling the intro, the deep pockets. But everything else from there on, I was digging. But my favorites would have to be Loses. That one was pretty deep. Demons. When to Say When. The Chicago freestyle was cool. Not You Too with Chris Brown. Oh, D4L. That was dope. But Loses will be my ultimate standout for that one. Let's see. Who else we got? Mac Miller, KIDS. Lil Baby, My Turn Deluxe. Mahala, Isolation Tapes. It's literally 3 of her singles. It's a quick little listen, but it jams. Luke Combs, What You See Is What You Get. Mozzie, Beyond Bulletproof. JoJo, Good to Know. Now JoJo was my girl. I've always followed JoJo. Like whenever I see she got something, I automatically am downloading. This is a cool little vibe. The intro So Bad, I'm really feeling. Lonely Hearts was good. Come Back, cool little song. Don't Talk Me Down. Definitely feeling. It's only 30 minutes. But it's a cool vibe. Happy to see JoJo back. What else we got? Kenny Chesney, Here and Now. Hot new singles, Drake, Pain, 1993, featuring Playboy Cardi. Megan Thee Stallion, Savage remix, featuring Beyonce. We were just talking about that. That's a dope remix. Like, Beyonce, like, she put her all into that remix. You know, usually people will just do a verse, right? If it's a remix and you're featured, you do your verse and you bounce. Beyonce didn't just do a verse. She's like singing harmonies throughout the whole thing. She's doing ad libs and like I'm not gonna even go there. But she's throughout the whole song, and the song it's even longer. Like most people, like they'll do a remix and the song will be like the same length. Like where did you squeeze in that verse? But it's like a 5-minute song. It definitely feels like them 90 remixes where they just, is that the same song? It's like one of those. Let's see, Doja Cat Say So remix with Nicki Minaj. See, now that remix is like the standard one now. It's really just, it's the Doja Cat Say So song and Nicki threw a verse on it. Boom. Check out that Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce remix and you'll see what I'm talking about. She didn't just throw a verse on it. Let's see, we got Lil Baby and 42 Doug, We Paid. Kalani, FNMU. I like that. It's basically F and makeup. Dixie Chick, Juliana Calm Down. That is like a cool little vibe. That beat is dope. I love that. French Montana Cold featuring Tory Lanez. On to tour and festival news. Here's what's newly been canceled. Snoop Dogg announces UK and Ireland I Want to Thank Me tour will now take place in February 2021. The tour features Warren G, The Dog Pound, Obi Trice, D12, and Versatile. That's an ultimate West Coast tour right there. Journey has canceled. Let's see. They canceled their 2020 tour. They were set to hit arenas around North America with the Pretenders. Dave Matthews Band has moved their summer 20 tour dates to 2021. The Lumineers have canceled all of their May and June tour dates. So fans who purchase tickets for the upcoming shows scheduled at Live Nation venues will have the option for a full refund or a credit for 150% of the purchase price, and the number of tickets originally purchased will also be donated to healthcare workers. Credit for 150%. That's real? Kesha's 2020 High Road Tour with Big Frida will not be happening in 2020. Please stay tuned for more about the 2021 dates. Fish rescheduled their 2020 tour, but everything's been postponed for now. Rage Against the Machine announced rescheduled dates for their reunion tour with Run the Jewels. You can go check them out. Rage's social and whatnot website if you want to see what those dates are. The June dates of Reba McEntire's Las Vegas residency with Brooks and Dunn were canceled. It's set to return to the Coliseum at Caesars Palace in October. Kelly Clarkson gave an update about her Las Vegas residency at the Zappos Theater in Planet Hollywood, which was previously pushed back to July 2020, but it will not take the stage until 2021. So here's what's streaming. Cinco de Mayo is tomorrow. So the Grammy Museum will host a bilingual Instagram live event in both English and Spanish in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, airing 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Grammy Museum's IG. It features co-founder of Florida Talachi, Miera Ramos, Iera Vaquero, and is hosted by Ruidoso founder Francisca. Y'all know me and my, if it ain't English. Mitchell Tenpenny will perform via live stream for Cracker Barrel's There's Comfort in Giving campaign. Beach Life Festival in Herradura will be celebrating Cinco de Mayo with sets from Russ Rankin of The Good Riddance, Dan Kelly of Fortunate Youth, Moi from Tomorrow's Bad Seeds, Davey Allen, Gavin Haney of Latchkey Kid. We got a bunch of people. The event starts off at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ozzo Malti is holding a special Cinco de Mayo live stream fundraiser for the House of Blues Music Forward Foundation at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The live stream is free to view with registration, though fans can access an after party and other extras by donating. In this special Cinco de Mayo episode, Dylan Francis and Diplo join forces to celebrate a holiday in isolation. So May 6th, the 4-hour Asia Rising Forever Global Festival kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 88 Rising's YouTube and Twitter page. That's 88, the numbers 88, RISING''S. The event will feature interviews, games, and performances. Asian artists such as Yuna, Audrey Nuna, Josh Pan, No Vacation, and many more. Hosted by Dumbfounded, the live stream event will benefit the nonprofit Asian Americans Advancing Justice. May 8th, Warped Tour founder Kevin Lyman and Talinda Bennington announced 320 Festival, a one-of-a-kind festival aimed at changing the way we talk about mental health. The festival that was set to take place across the entire LA Live complex in May has been canceled in its current form. Instead, the festival will be going online on May 8th through the 10th. Fans can tune in for free on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and the KNEKT.TV network on Roku and Apple TV to join the conversations through educational sessions, musical performance, workshops, and more. May 15th, Miley Cyrus is scheduled to perform her song The Climb during Facebook and Instagram's Celebrate the Class of 2020 event in honor of graduating seniors who have had their ceremonies and commencement ceremonies canceled because of the pandemic. The ceremony will also feature words of wisdom from Lil Nas X. I'm sorry. Words of wisdom from Lil Nas X? Maybe if you said words of wisdom from Nas, like, can we get an elder, an OG, Lil Nas X? Words of wisdom. Ain't he the same age as these graduates? Aquafina and others, as well as a commencement speech by Oprah Winfrey. Now, there are some words of wisdom. Oprah Winfrey and Lil Nas X, get out of here. It begins at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and can be streamed on Facebook. So we'll take a break and return with music history with Cady Groves.
You really can't underestimate the importance of having the right creative work for your brand or your product. Whether it's a logo, a website, a book cover, or an ad campaign, you really need a quality design to make that big difference pop and deliver your overall engagement and success in a competitive market. That's where Design Crowd comes in. Design Crowd has over 750,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. They make crowdsourcing work for you. So if you need a logo or you're working on your creative branding, you can go to designcrowd.com and post a brief describing the design you need. And then within about 2 to 7 days, you'll receive up to over 100 different designs from designers around the world. Then you pick the best design and approve payment to the designer. So you're only paying for the design that you want. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of freelancing and out of crowdsourcing. And you don't have to be a huge company like Harvard Business School to use Design Crowd, although they have used it as well. You can start a project on Design Crowd for as little as $99. And if you go right now to designcrowd.com/health and wellness or enter the promo code health and wellness on their website, then our health and wellness listeners will receive up to $150 off of your design project. That's designcrowd.com/health and wellness or entering that promo code health and wellness.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. Now let's get into music history with Cady Groves, according to allmusic.com. A vocalist and songwriter whose music blends upbeat pop with personal themes, Cady Groves was born in Marlow, Oklahoma on July 30th, 1989. One of 7 siblings, Groves soaked up early musical influences as a child from her mother, who liked Phil Collins and Amy Grant, and her stepfather, who was into Lynyrd Skynyrd and Styx. Anne has cited hearing Frank Sinatra and Alanis Morissette on the radio in the family's van as experiences that made her want to write and sing her own songs. Groves graduated from high school when she was just 16, and while she was keenly interested in songwriting, her family discouraged her from making music a career. And she instead attended culinary school in Scottsdale, Arizona. Eventually, Groves was inspired to follow her dreams after the death of her brother, and she began focusing on her songwriting, initially intending to present her work to other artists to record. Okay, I'm sorry. So her brother passed away, and then she passed away, so her parents lost 2 children. Her parents had to bury 2 kids. That's sad, man. And we spoke earlier about her brother who posted that she didn't harm herself. So that brother has lost 2 siblings. Man. So, but when a session vocalist failed to show up after Groves booked time to record demos of her latest batch of songs, Groves sang them herself with the encouragement of the engineers on the session. And the material grew into Groves' first independent EP, 2009's A Month of Sundays. An album, The Life of a Pirate, followed in 2010, and her social media pages began attracting impressive traffic. Several major record labels began bidding for her services. In 2010, Groves signed with RCA and set out on her first nationwide concert tour, opening a package show that featured Third Eye Blind, Good Charlotte, and All Time Low. RCA paired Groves with several producers and songwriters, including Savin Kotsha and Kristen London, as she began work on her first major label album. But one would-be collaborator lured her into a romantic relationship. And when Groves discovered he was married, she channeled her anger and betrayal into the song called This Little Girl. RCA released This Little Girl as a single in August 2011 and produced a music video for the tune that featured a cameo from country star Blake Shelton, who had struck up a friendship with the singer on Twitter. RCA released a 4-song EP, including the tune, as well as another proposed single, Where the Shit, which Groves supported with a tour supporting pop rockers Hot Chelle Rae. But when the single and EP both failed to live up to the expectations, RCA opted not to release the album Groves had already completed. Groves bided her time and made a guest vocal appearance on an album by the band Plug-in Stereo. In June 2012, RCA released another Groves single, Love Actually, which appeared as the bonus track Now That's What I Call Music, Volume 43. And when Groves Forgot You appeared, so she has a song called Forget You, appeared on the soundtrack to Sisters. When the Smurfs 2 soundtrack fizzled on the charts, Groves became disenchanted with her relationship with RCA and asked to be released from her contract. The label agreed, and for a while, Groves settled in Kansas, where by day she worked in a gourmet candy shop and at night updated her social media pages and posted demos for many of the songs she never got a chance to release while on RCA. In May 2015, Groves returned with a new self-released single and video for the song Crying Game, a dark personal song inspired by her tumultuous relationship and strained family relationship. Based off of her childhood. Billboard has 5 songs you should know of hers, starting with This Little Girl, Love Actually, Forget You, Crying Game, and Oil and Water. So yeah, I hadn't heard of her until I heard that she passed away. But it sounds like she was really made a major impact. There were all kinds of people tweeting and sending out their condolences. So yes, my condolences to her family, to all of her fans. If you're not familiar with her, now you know a little something about her. And if you want to check out them songs, check them out. Until next time, I'm Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.